All right, beginning of a new month, time for another collection update and first one of the new year. But yeah, there's not a whole lot different up here in the Canon Transformers display. Most of my changes this month are downstairs, but to get on into it, I believe that the only thing that's different about this whole shelf here is that I did add Peepo and Boater from the HasLab Deathsaurus set to be my new Fix It and Sea Watch, and I also replaced Red Heat from Siege just with Fire from the Victory Saber set, just because, I don't know, I figured that they're more or less the same character. There really wasn't a whole lot of differences about them, and that one is slightly nicer than the Siege Red Heat. But yeah, that's it for this shelf. I don't believe there's anything different on this shelf from last time. And then the only thing different over here is I was able to get Transformers Cybertron scrap metal to be with my Unicron Trilogy Decepticons there. So that's the only thing over here. Then moving on to this shelf, I did move off the Rainmakers and Alita One and her crew to actually make space for the basically, you know, kind of similar to this shelf down here. These are kind of the Autobots that originated from like other continuities, since we were getting more of these guys recently, especially since Legacy United is giving us a few of them there. So we got Windblade added and Medics and Chase. You know, I think that these guys will probably need even a bigger shelf at some point, but for now that they're all good here. And then where Lita One and her crew were, I just put over the like sort of alt universe Maximals, the evil Maximals team, to kind of be near the other alt universe stuff rather than being on the sort of like beast shelf. And then moving on, nothing here new on the combiner shelf here. And on this shelf, where I ended up putting the Rainmakers, is actually on top of this tall shelf. You know, I didn't previously have anything up there, and I think most things would be a little bit too hidden. But since they're so ostentatious and they stand out so much, and you know, they're not really figures that I mess around with all that often, I feel like they look pretty good up there. Just kind of, you know, sticking out bright neon. And again, you know, if I need to fill space elsewhere, I can move them off later. But for now, I think that they look pretty good up there. And then the only other different things on this shelf is obviously we've added the Legacy United Tiger Hawk in the back there on this shelf. And then down here, we added Legacy United Snarl or Tasmania Kid to be with the sort of like Japanese Maximals there. So that's everything for this shelf. And then over here, I ended up moving Alita One and her crew down onto this shelf, just because I feel like they looked a lot better on a sort of like smaller shelf space since there aren't that many of them. And then down here, I'm not like totally crazy about this right now, but it'll look better once we get more of them. I've got the new sort of like Infernac Universe Rocklordy type guys down here now. Just because I don't know where else to put them for the meantime. They're going to look a little bit sparse by themselves until we get at least a third one. But, you know, having them on a smaller shelf space, I think, is a little bit better. And then because of that, you know, I obviously moved off Windblade to be with the other, you know, other universe Autobots. And then I put Road Rage and Road Road Hawk, I can't remember which, Road Rocket, there we go, to be over here, just with the sort of miscellaneous other Autobots. I think, honestly, I might switch out these guys with the like, originated in other universe Autobots at some point, just because I feel like once we get more of them, they'll look better here, and then Victorion, I think, would fit in with them as well, whereas all the other miscellaneous guys I feel like could go in other places just by themselves. So yeah, you know, we'll figure it out as we go along. But believe that's it for this shelf. I don't think there's anything new on the Beast Wars shelf from this month. And then moving on down here, I ended up putting Transmetal 2, Megatron, and Optimal Optimus down here to be on the sort of like largely a, you know, Beast Former shelf. Because where they previously were is now where I have HasLab Deathsaurus sitting nice here on his throne by himself. And I feel like that looks pretty good as a display option. And then I guess the only other change in the Canon display is just that, you know, Fire is no longer over here with the Japanese Autobots, but that's it. That's the only thing for the Canon Transformers display. And then moving on, I don't believe there's anything new with the non-canon display over here. It's all the same as it was before. And then the only other new stuff in the room itself is over here. I ended up moving the stuff down here that was on this shelf downstairs because, well, I'll show it later. And I ended up just putting that Lego mock of the little ocean scene in there, and then Bulbasaur stayed because I feel like he fits in fairly well. You know, Lego alike, not necessarily Lego. And then the only other change here is we've got over here with the Eternia minis from that little local toy store that I found this month. I actually got a couple new Eternia minis, which I really got for the cases, but I was able to get the, you know, Show Colors Beastman and the Show Colors Ram Man here, who just replaced the Comic Colors versions of them and then moved around a little bit for, you know, because now I like this one better, so I wanted it up here. But yeah, no, really, the only reason I really got those was because for a while I've really wanted these little tiny Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull cases that came with the first couple waves, which I missed out on because I hadn't been collecting them at that point. So it's nice to actually get those. But yeah, that's actually everything for the room up here. Starting off in this room, this is the same room with the RPG miniatures display. I did get this new sort of like lamp shelf. I didn't turn on the lamp right now just because the light in it is really yellow, so it would kind of mess with the colors of the video. But basically, a lot of the things that I had on that little side shelf before, I ended up putting on here. Just the Lego things. So look, the little Endor scene with the Lego ATST, the other two Exoforce mechs, and then the Alpha Team Scorpion. I moved off that helicopter and just put it back into storage for now. Yeah, I don't know, nothing crazy. I don't even really come in here and look at this all that often, but it's kind of a nice display. So that's it for this room. And peeking into the kitchen area real quick, the only thing that's really different in here is that down here on this shelf, I ended up putting the little pop vinyls of the Pokemon Quest Snorlax and Gengar down here, just taking them off of that shelf that I had upstairs where that ocean mock is now. So yeah, that's the only thing that's different in the kitchen area. And then moving on to the main room downstairs here, I've added a few new things to the G1 Transformers display these past couple months here. Obviously added the new reissue in cartoon colors of G1 Soundwave, Laserbeak, and Ravage. I also got G1 Tentakill this month for a pretty good deal online, which I'm pretty excited about. He's a fun little figure. And then, yes, not technically a Transformer, I do also have GoBots spoons down here that I did a review of a few weeks ago, just because, I mean, I don't know really where else he fits in, but he fits in pretty well with the G1 Transformers, kind of an imposter there, since he's not actually a, you know, Transformer, but yeah, you know, close enough. And then moving on here, over on this shelf, this is what I ended up doing with the two NECA Godzillas that were on that shelf upstairs, just to really send this through as a kaiju themed shelf here. I've got my kaiju themed Dunnies, these three Eldridor creatures or whatever they're called, the NECA Godzillas, and then the big Chinosaur Godzilla. And then down here, I ended up putting the gift with purchase Toa-Tahu, those little Fugler like, you know, action figures that that were on that shelf upstairs with the Godzillas before. Little Dalek from Doctor Who that I've had for a long time but have not put out. I got recently back into Doctor Who, so I decided to put that back out again. But that's it for this shelf. And then moving over here, I think the only thing that's different on this shelf is that I decided to move my little Gloomy Bear in with the other kind of designer toy guys. And then this shelf previously is where I had all my extra Dunnies. And what I ended up doing with them is putting them over here because, yep, I got a few more. Again, still on kind of a Dunny kick. I even have an eBay order that I'm looking at right now that has another big lot of them. So maybe I'll be getting even more of these guys. But yeah, no, I think that they look really nice on the shelf now. Quite a few more than I had during the last video. But yeah, no, really charmed with these little guys. I've always been really into Dunny, and you know, I'd never really explored trying to find them on the secondary market for a decent price before. So it's a pretty exciting new venture here. And then the last thing this month is that I do have a few more things on the Lego shelf here. Some Christmas gifts that I got. I got for the Dreams display, I got the giant awesome shark pirate ship here, which looks really nice up here with all the Nightmare guys. Also got the little Bunshu bunny mech kind of guy here. And then the big thing this month is I got Lego Ninjago City Street or whatever it's supposed to be called, City Market, which is a really, really, really cool set. I did end up doing like a big long time lapse video of me building it, which I might put up on the channel eventually. I haven't bothered to like edit it and find decent music to put behind it because it still ends up being like over 10 minutes long, even sped up, because it was a really intensive build, but it is a really, really nice set. I love all the little details on here. It's the only Ninjago thing I've ever owned. I'm not really interested in Ninjago generally, and my least favorite part about the set is the actual ninjas that I just don't really particularly care about, but the rest of it is really, really cool. It's got like this nice little sushi shop up here, which has some really cool building techniques. I love this minifigure. A lot of really nice stuff going on here. A little like Apple store, which is really cool, or a phone store. This little minifigure in the wheelchair. This is probably my favorite minifigure in the set, the little Bionicle fan who's like actually holding one of those micro figures as a little mini Toa Tahu, which I think is really cool. The functional gondola there. Just lots of really cool details in the set. I love that bridge build, that crocodile I also got from that vintage toy store that I got a few other things that did not come with this set, but I feel like it looks pretty nice there. And then also got this, gift with purchase, like little Christmas scene, which probably won't stay there forever. I just, it was a new set that I got at Christmas and I decided to put it out there. But, it's not really, I'm not really as into this set as I am everything else in this shelf. So, it's the rest of the shelf is pretty much the same, but was very, very excited to get this set. Definitely the biggest Lego set that I've ever had. And yeah, it does not disappoint. It's a really, really cool set and a very nice display piece. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this month's video. Like I said, not a terrible number of new things. Terrible number, it's not a bad thing. Not a terribly large number of new things, but still some fun stuff. I think that this is probably, the Lego display is probably the thing that changed the most. So probably we'll skip next month as well. I think that every other month is a good schedule for these. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Thank you for watching the video if you've made it this far. I usually do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have our collection update for February 2024.